Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at Shadow Pidgeot in the Open Great League. Currently there is a lack of flying type Pokemon in the Open Great League, and so we're going to try to take advantage of this. We're going to see already a Pokemon being very weak to us with the Ariados, but also even the Feraligatr that wants to swap into us is going to be very weak to us. Here we're going to have the moveset of the Legacy move of Gust. This is definitely the recommended move for this Pokemon now. It is a Confusion clone and it does tremendous amounts of damage here, especially with the Shadow bonus on top of it. It is a lot of fun to use. Highly recommend you to try that one out. After, of course, Wing Attack got nerfed, that's going to be the main move that you want to run. And honestly, Pidgeot was also one of the Pokemon I was looking at to try out for Original, which maybe I'm gonna do eventually, who knows. But this Pokemon definitely has a lot of potential in the current meta, being able to resist Shadow Claw, which is really important in the current meta, where Feraligatr is very, very strong. Being able to nuke away Pokemon with Brave Bird, but also having access to Feather Dance is going to be a great thing to have, as you're going to now be able to take hits way, way easier. Giving a guaranteed double attack drop is quite ridiculous. But I am not too sure if it's actually the best moveset for this Pokemon. I don't think so, actually. I think that Aerial Ace might be better than Feather Dance. Feather Dance doesn't really do any damage at all. Aerial Ace does need, I think, 10 less energy even compared to the move of Feather Dance. And this makes it way, way easier to get to, and I think way, way better to play as well. So if you want to try out this team, I don't think Feather Dance is the way to go. I do actually think that Aerial Ace might be a little bit better. That being said, I do think that this team is also with, of course, Feather Dance, a great team to run, but I feel like Aerial Ace would give you a bit better coverage, so yeah, maybe try it out with Aerial Ace. Anyway, we're going to see here the next opponent coming up with the Walrein. Those Pokemon here, kinda like those Pokemon that are water as well as ice typing, are the main reason why we're running Gastrodon over Pokemon like Marowak in the back. Marowak was kind of the Pokemon I wanted to take a look at more here as well, but the extra water typing of the Gastrodon just gives us a resistance to ice, which is really important, as there are quite a lot of Dugongs, quite a lot of Walreins currently around in the current meta. And as you can see, there's even a Marowak against us, which is quite interesting. I guess the core of Marowak as well as the opponent's other Pokemon of Walrein makes a lot of sense. But as you will see, they're gonna go back into their Walrein, allowing us to go for a close combat with our Shadow Gallade, which is going to be our main save swap for this team. Very strong Pokemon for sure. And as we will see here, the Walrein is coming back in. We're gonna have to try to go for a hard-hitting move. That's at least what I wanted to say here. But actually gonna go for the Body Slam instead, doing some nice damage while also forcing them to go for 2 charge moves here against me. They decide to go for the first Icicle Spear, as they're going to swap out now into their own Gastrodon, and this is going to be quite nice, because Gastrodon is going to have next to no play against our own Pidgeot. We're going to be able to go for the full Gust down, and Gust is doing so much damage against them. We have to hope that we can survive 2 Body Slams from the opponent, as we are not allowed to go for any charge move here. The opponent's Walrein has definitely one move stored already, and I know that we're going to be able to win the CMP here with our Pidgeot, and yes, we're going to be able to get there perfectly before the opponent gets to their Body Slam. This Brave Bird easily going to knock them out, and we can win this battle. Next opponent, we're going to have a Shadow Quagsire here, and again, like those kind of matchups are the ones that I really think that Aerial Ace is actually the way to go for this Pokemon, as you would be able to get to the move here already, but also you're just going to put them into range where you can fully farm them down. The extra damage of the Feather Dance here, or the extra debuff of the Feather Dance, will not really help you in the scenario at all, making it a little bit more of an awkward one. And so, yeah, again, if you want to run the team, I feel like Aerial Ace might be the better move to go for. There were a lot of scenarios where you just kind of would like to have the cheaper move to get to, and that is definitely something that I could see as well. People adapting to for like play Pokemon tournaments, having something like Pidgeot, even though most likely, at least next time I'm gonna most likely participate in a tournament, Morpeko is going to be then released as well. Currently it is banned because there's currently a bug going on with it. Yeah, Morpeko can be a bit of a tricky Pokemon here for especially the lead and maybe even our Seizup. Our Seizup is actually okay for Morpeko. I think we usually would be able to win against Morpeko with our Gallade, but yeah, generally speaking, of course, Pidgeot going to have some problems against this one. Next one, we're going to see here that we're going to be able to go ahead and go for that Earth Power against the opponent's Quagsire, and what we're going to see next is going to be also that Chargeable coming in. We can go for the bait here, and this is, I guess, like those scenarios where Feather Dance kind of help us a bit, as we will be able to now survive those fast moves from the opponent a little bit easier. We can actually get up to a Brave Bird, nuke them away, win the battle, and move on to the next opponent. Ariados in lead is going to be great. They're gonna go into the Quagsire here, and maybe I should just went straight into the Gallade, but actually, Gallade against Quagsire, I don't know, never mind. It's actually a good matchup now again, especially after the recent change to Mudshot. It's going to be a little bit easier for Gallade to win that matchup, as he usually be able to outspeed in 2 shields. But as you will see, we're going to take advantage of the opponent's Quagsire here as well with our Gastrodon. Gastrodon can take those hits, especially after the debuff that we were able to get onto them as well here. And so we can let all the moves go through. They don't really have anything to do with that Quagsire anymore. And yeah, we're going to get a ton of energy now, which is going to be lovely, as the opponent's Ariados definitely does not want to get hit by an Earth Power, which you can go straight away for. This is going to do a ton of damage, gonna put them into the yellow health, and you're actually going to be able to still get to the Body Slam here as well, which is going to be great for us, doing enough damage to knock them out, and now it's down to the final Pokemon. And this is, I guess, where Feather Dance kinda comes in clutch. If the opponent only has 1 Pokemon left, they cannot swap out. Feather Dance is just going to seal the deal here, as we're gonna be able to drop the opponent's attack by 2 stages for the rest of this battle. Going to make it very easy for us, because we now even going to be able to survive a Hydro Cannon with our Pidgeot, and Pidgeot is going to be able to knock them out, and we didn't even have to show our Gallade against the opponent. So far, I think we actually won every single battle, but this may be changed eventually. We're going to see the opponent having a great lead for us, and even a great Say-Swap for us. We're going to have the Drapion Say-Swap, and we have our Mud Slapper and the Gastrodon to try to counter this one. We can go for our Body Slam, and I think we might be able to even fully farm them down in time as well. Let's see. One more fast move, it is going to be enough, and the Drapion is going to be gone. We can align ourselves. We can overfarm here a lot as well and go for that Earth Power. And maybe I should have went for 2 Body Slams here, which maybe would have been the better play to go for. I'm not too sure if I actually would have been able to reach them though. But yeah, now we're going to have a little bit of an awkward position where the opponent has so much energy on their Marowak and Rock Slide on it as well, that we kind of have to hope there's a Pokemon in the back that we can deal with our Pidgeot as well. And it's going to be a Dugong, and that is going to be a tough one for us, as we are going to be forced to go for that Leaf Blade. And honestly, I maybe should have stayed in with my Pidgeot and went for 1 charge move, for 1 Feather Dance to try to debuff them. I think this would have been the better play to go for, because then I would have been able to survive this drill run and would have been able to get to 2 charge moves, and that would have been way better than whatever I tried to do here, as now they can even go for their charge move before I can get up to that Brave Bird, and that was definitely game over now. So, Azumarill is going to be next here. This Pokemon is going to be definitely a little bit of an awkward one, as our lead is going to be weak to the Ice typing of it, making it a little bit of a tricky one. Of course, Ice typing of Ice Beam, making it one way we definitely have to use a shield. As we will see here as well, Brave Bird is coming through. This is going to be able to hopefully knock them out. Let's see. It is, so we got just 1-shot in the Azumarill with our Pidgeot, and we can swap out now, but sadly the Talonflame is not going to be really a great matchup for a Gallade, I would say. As you're going to be able to go for the close combat, it's going to get the shield from the opponent. It is still a bit of a trickier one, as they're going to be able to go for the fly. I think they completely no-bubble this one, and they still get a 1 free fast move in. A very smart play by the opponent, but we still have Gastrodon being able to resist the fast move. They're of course resisting our fast move as well. Is going to be a very solid play, where we'll be able to go for... Oh, no shield against that Brave Bird is going to be a bit of a tricky one. This is going to do it way too much damage, but at least Body Slam is coming through. We can swap out. We still have some energy left there as well, and we're going to be able to get off another charge move here against the opponent. Feather Dance is going to get no shielded, but we actually don't really care too much about their shield, because now I just care about my fast move damage. And we see as well, I decided to use a shield against the opponent's Drapion, as it's going to allow us to get more gust damage in, and now it's only 2 more fast moves that we need to knock them out. With our gas turn, we can still win the battle. Next opponent, we're going to have the Malamar here against us. That's going to be again a very neutral matchup for us, but as I will say, Swap is not too great against it. It's actually kind of okay, to be fair. Like, Psycho Cut is never really there for the damage. We have close combat, which would mostly knock them out, so I guess it's not the worst matchup actually for our Say Swap of Gallade for this matchup here. But yeah, we're still going to decide to just go for the Feather Dance. I'll let them go for charge move. I think here, if I went for an Aerial Ace instead, I would have just been able to knock them out in time, because Aerial Ace just does more damage than the Feather Dance does. So again, I think that would be kind of one of those scenarios where it definitely would be beneficial to have Aerial Ace. Anyway, they're going to be able to go for a Body Slam here against the opponent's Drapion. This is going to force a shield from them, and I think I'm just going to leave it as that, because I already got them super low. I don't really need my Gastrodon. I can even go back into... Maybe I can even go into my Gallade now. I'm going to decide to go back into my Pidgeot, play it safe, knock them out, get them low. Now it depends on what they have in the back. It's going to be that Clodsire, and while we have super effective fast move pressure, while we have Leaf Blade here, It is sadly not going to be enough to knock out that Clodsire. We would need some super effective Psychic-type moves. But sadly, the legacy move on this Pokemon here on the Gallade, the Psychic-type legacy move, is quite bad, so it's not really worth it to run, and so the opponent going to be able to win this one. Next up, we're going to have a great lead, and we're going to see a Say-Swap of the Dewgong, and this is going to be a bit of a trickier one to deal with. Again, Dewgong can be quite awkward for us. Maybe I should have went into my Gastrodon just to get them a little bit lower, but I decided to go into my Gallade again, use a shield here against them. Icy Wind is coming through, and I feel like if we're just gonna play it out here, we might be just fine with our Gallade. We will be able to very late just fully farm them down with the Psycho Cut now, and I think that's going to be the best play that I can go for, as we will see the shield coming up from me, Icy Wind is coming through, and the opponent stops out into the Frostless. We had -2 attack on our Gallade, and that is gonna be a bit of a tough one for us. To be fair, what I should have done here is I should have just kept the energy, swapped out into my Gastrodon and left it at that. Because it would have been the best way of dealing with it, because I even had the energy for later on maybe something like a Machamp. So I feel like this was not well played by me, definitely could have improved it a little bit, especially just keeping the energy, because if you think about it, I could have just went in later on and did way more damage with those Leaf Blades even against the opponent's Frostless. I still would have been able to reach very likely that Earth Power against them before I would get knocked out. And so, yeah, this was a very silly play by me. Now I just have to hope that somehow Pidgeot is going to be able to beat all of the Pokemon from the opponent, as we are able to catch a Stone Edge onto our Fighting type boy. The Cross Chop is still coming through here against our bird, and so sadly that's going to put us quite low. And the Forces still has a move, and I think this was a winnable game if I just played it differently. If I just didn't go for the Leaf Blades immediately. Sad about it, but let's move on to the next opponent. We're going to have the Typhlosion. This Pokemon is something, yeah, difficult for us to deal with. They're going to swap out into the Dewgong, which is usually great for the Gallade. And honestly, I should have went for the Close Combat straight away here. There's no real reason to do what I just did. And it's gonna be even worse, to be fair. I kind of misplay this one quite a bit. I decided to go for the Close Combat here now, which is totally fine. This is going to knock them out guaranteed. And so they're gonna swap out now, of course, into the Typhlosion. I should just went for the Leaf Blade. There's no reason to go ahead and not go for the Leaf Blade. That was very silly by me. I'm still gonna be able to fully farm them down, as I of course go for the Thunder Punch here against our little slug there, as the Garrison is definitely can take this one. We're gonna see the Pidgeot now trying to do its best with a Feather Dance against the opponent's Diggersby, but it's gonna be a tough one. We're gonna see as well that we're gonna use a shield, because that's our only way of really dealing with it. And again, I feel like this would have been a battle here where if I played it a little bit differently, I would have had a really good chance of winning this battle, and this is something that you a lot of times only really realize afterwards. Here, of course, the opponent barely does any damage against us because they're so debuffed, and that's why I decided to rather try to get all the energy that I could. Fire Punch is coming through, and I make a big mistake here as well. I decided to go for that extra fast move. Why is it such a big mistake? Because the opponent is, of course, getting the lucky chance of getting the attack drop from the Scorching Sands. If I just went straight for it, I would have been able to just get that one before, and I would have been able to put them into knockout range for one Body Slam. But even here, we're going to be able to get the defense drop, which doesn't matter, as we can go for a back-to-back Earth Power and win the battle. Final battle is going to be against the Dunsparce. That's a very horrible lead for us, especially as they're going to save swap now out into that Talonflame, making it a very difficult battle for us as well. Here we're going to go for a Close Combat, and we can go for another one, but not before the opponent can go for another Incinerate. But this at least allows us to get the shield from them and give Pidgeot some farm, which I guess is kind of fine. Fly is coming through, and we're going to be able to farm them down in time here as well, which is great, as they now gonna go back into the Dunsparce, and I have to be a bit careful here. What I decide to do next is I'm gonna try to catch a move on to my ground type Pokemon there, because it's gonna be the Rock side anyway, and Gastrodon going to be able to soak up all the energy from the opponent while giving me a very great advantage here. They're gonna decide to go until the Azumarill, where we can go for the neutral Earth Power straight away. We have a Bubble against Mudslap. There's no great timing there either. There's going to be 2-3 turn fast moves against each other there. Going to be totally fine for us, and we will see here the Play Rough coming through, getting us low. We can go for an Earth Power afterwards, or for a Body Slam on the CMP type. I kind of want to get some more energy onto my Pidgeot, but it's going to be still a little bit of a tough matchup. And maybe this was a mistake here actually, because now they can knock me out and I still have to get rid of them, but they can swap out here. And what we decide to do is to go straight for basically that Feather Dance, trying to drop the opponent's attack. And I'm going to drop it even further with the next Feather Dance, but they of course got a lot of energy in already here. but we're gonna see them going straight for the rock slide. They're at -4 attack, the lowest possible, and they don't do enough damage anymore, allowing us to go for the full farm. But can we also knock out that Azumarill? Yes, we can. This can be it for this video. Honestly, Pidgeot is a lot of fun. I think Aerialist helps with it. I think most of my losses here were stuff that I could have won if I played it differently, and that's great to know. This team definitely works out really well. Would recommend you to try it out, and I see you then. Bye bye.